many, you may not be surprised because you were a good reporter also, but all of us know one thing, which is not matching with his public perception. Most people think, and absolutely wrongly, that he was a weak prime minister. Secondly, I don't think he was a weak prime minister. And second thing, people think he was not a politician, typical politician. No, sorry. He was an astute politician. He knew his politics. He knew inbuilt restraint of his prime ministership. It was a public posturing that was required and thrust upon him by Congress party to be a weak-looking prime minister. You know very well that how political parties and political leaders are made and unmade. Political leaders do public posturing. They acquire a certain role, they define that role, and then they perform that role. So, because those were a very unique Congress days, where Congress party was having a foreign-born Indian leader, Sonia Gandhi, and she did everything right. She was also a very polite and quite acceptable figure, but still she wanted a deeper acceptance within the country. So she, very thoughtfully, highly intelligently, she zeroed down on Dr. Singh. And that nomination came with certain terms and conditions, and that was to be low profile, he was looking weak. He was not a weak prime minister. There is lot many things are happening even in this government. I know Narendra Modi, we all of us know, he has a certain personality traits, but everything is not in public domain. Same way, I think I give a lot of credit to Manmohan Singh, lots of credit to Manmohan Singh for his global vision, for his foreign policy matters, particularly for a nuclear deal. India will have to say thank you today for nuclear deal, because that changed the entire shades of all foreign policy, our thinking. He opened the mindset. So I would give more credit to Narsi Rao for economic liberalization, but the man who implemented it, through him he implemented. So Manmohan Singh also gets credit, but bigger credit goes to Narsi Rao. But definitely during his tenure he did it. So coming to your point that a lot of people must be upset about him also in the party and all. But let me tell you, the party, Dr. Singh, and even opposition party that time, BJP and others, all of them, it suited to brand him and tag him and call him as a weak prime minister, because it helped Congress party to maneuver and manipulate the politics the way they wanted it. And you know, in Congress there is an inbuilt necessity which is there today also, that the Gandhis has to be at the top, and not just at the top, but they must look powerful also. So, for 10 years this arrangement worked beautifully.
Absolutely, very well said. Very well said.
That it was a posturing.
Very well said, Sheela Bhatt. Yes, I also reported extensively in that period from the Office of Profit story when Sonia Gandhi actually gave in her resignation to all the scams, etc. I even traveled on several of those prime ministers with at least I can remember 6 destinations: South Africa, Uganda for the Commonwealth elections, to Cebu, to Cambodia, to China. But Saba Naqvi, he was also always very bothered about how history would judge him. His statement, his quote that we played out at the beginning clearly said that somewhere this decent man, this man who was not given to confrontations, not given to fisticuffs the way we see in Parliament today, understated, I don't know if we believe Sheela Bhatt, maybe an acquired persona that he had. But the fact was that he was understated till, of course, the Indo-US nuke deal, when he actually decided that he was ready to given his resignation if his party did not back him, and the manner in which he just went along. The left parties deserted him in 2008. We came down to the no confidence motion. Saba, how do you look at Dr. Manmohan Singh and his biggest challenges of his 10 years as Prime Minister?
So first of all, I think Manmohan Singh is one of the most significant figures in our public life in the last quarter century, 30 years. From the economic reforms which he implemented, which he thought through, he was scholarly. We all know him. We all know the kind of individual that he was. The first term, till the Indo-US nuclear deal, was a term which went very well for him. And it went brilliantly, even from the point of view, I consider RTI and Manrega to be very welcome. He also, till the very end, till he loses an election, there was a very open press. We all spent hours criticizing the Prime Minister. Let's remember that, Navika, okay? In the second term, however, from 2010 onwards, and by the way, I was also on the China trip. There was one trip, China, Japan. I don't know if you were on the same one.
Hangzhou.
Anyway, but from 2010 onwards, Commonwealth Games, which I think you reported a lot on also, that comes on, and then all these scams are unfolding on a daily basis. Even where I worked, Outlook magazine, led by Vinod Mehta, allegedly somebody who's really, we were doing big stories attacking the government. All of us were doing it. And then comes the Anna Andolan. The Anna movement and begins in 2011, and that really, so he had a torrid second term, and his reputation was destroyed completely because there was one scam after the other, we could also publicize it. It was just a daily routine. Our magazine was being given leads about this and that, everything, coal, 2G, everything was exploding all the time. And then the Anna movement happened, and the Anna movement got a lot of traction on television. It was like, it became a national movement also because it came on TV, so much. And then that destroyed him. However, and so by the time his term is ending, things it was clear to everyone the Congress regime, the UPA, was going to be defeated. I think that was quite clear. Just as his coming in was a surprise, then some personally bad things happened to him, Navika. If you think about it, the book, The Accidental Prime Minister. Is it ethical for any of us to work with someone and then to write a tell-all book about a Prime Minister? That happened to him. And that book was later made into it is completely unethical. I've had conversations with people I may be at loggerheads with. But it was done in the case of that particular book, and that tormented him a lot. And so a lot of things like Manmohan Singh was a professional, an economist, also, and he was all those things. He was highly educated, he knew his economics, but there was this problem there is this situation always in the Congress party that the family is first. And yes, I'm glad Sheela mentioned that point, that the reason why he was chosen is because there's no law in India that a person born in a foreign country cannot become Prime Minister. There is, by the way, a law in the US. So for instance, Elon Musk, I think he was born in South Africa. I don't think he can become the next president after Donald Trump, seeing how active he is. There was no law, but it was definitely an issue. So in the US has a law that you have to be born in America to contest the president for the office of president. We didn't have that law, but there was this public issue. That's why Sharad Pawar left, and that's why Manmohan Singh was selected. Very clearly, he was not elected. In the second term, when the Congress comes back with more seats, we are still very much in the coalition era. It's been a really good term with him at the helm of affairs. But the second term is just blown apart very quickly. And that is why we have this impression, it just blowing. And in all fairness, this man, who I know that when his daughters and all got married, before one of them, before he became Prime Minister, the simplest, in their own personal space, they are the simplest people, And so this man was suddenly, a lot of the charges of corruption were being invisibly within the party. It was as if the PM is responsible.